Welcome back, everyone. We will be starting the next session shortly. We do apologize for the lack of ASL interpretation during part of Marie-Hélène's presentation earlier. We are looking at adding that in during post-production, and it should be available in the recording. Just a reminder, information about how to submit questions and how to access French captions can be found in the chat. Our first speaker this hour is Noah Papatsie. Noah was born and raised in Iqaluit, Nunavut. Noah has a rich career in broadcasting and local politics. He worked with Inuit Broadcasting for many years and later became councillor for the city of Iqaluit from 2013 to 2015. He is the present chair for the Disability Advisory Committee, and we welcome Noah to the stage.
Thank you. My name is Noah Papatsie, born and raised here in Iqaluit, Nunavut. It's great to be part of this conversation on accessibility parks. Great to meet everyone. More we understand our distance, the better. I'm looking forward to the conversations we'll be going through. We have 25 communities in Nunavut, so looking forward to more information process, how we can work together and have an accessible future. Iqaluit, Nunavut, we have a population of 37,000 people in Nunavut. In Iqaluit is the capital city. We have about 8,000 people altogether. All across Nunavut, we have 25 communities, and we have indeed parks within our communities. In Iqaluit, Nunavut, we have several Park, and as well as in other parks, it gets more beautiful. The more we get out there, the better. The more we understand the languages, the better. Especially for safety reasons, and as well as for more information within our language. We can interpret with each other and respect the land, as well as understand the languages that are given. As we go across through the land, there's different names, places where things grew, or more such as, especially for more information for better search and rescue in case of parks needs to search for people. It is important that we understand each other within each languages, especially within the parks. Parks Canada needs to have assistance or guidance within each territory to understand more of the guidance through the whole trail within or outside the trail. More accessible, the better too, as well. Within the countryside or within the city side, countryside may be a little bit different, but more we work on this, the better with the terrain. The terrain might be a little different, but more we work on this, such as, there's assistive technology that can help us out in our day-to-day lives. It is good that there's equipment out there, but more we learn it, the better. Safety, the better, because day-to-day life is important. As soon as we go out the door from our home, safety is #1 priority, especially going out in the field. So it is important in the parks, if we have a safety guide, whom understands the languages, places, roads, terrain, or even animal life. Up here in Nunavut, we have polar bears that are around, on a daily basis, that are being monitored daily in different parts of Nunavut. Like I said earlier, we have 25 communities, and most of the polar bears are within Nunavut, really. So today they're getting closer and closer due to different climate or different information, such as, they're being bothered by ships, or, they travel on a daily basis. So it's important that we understand where we live, where polar bears exist, as well as foxes, wolves, that we need to understand that safety precaution is important, and that we understand how and to respect the animals that we live together on a daily basis. So each community has its own unique way of addressing each other. Like I said earlier, we have 8,000 people within Iqaluit capital, and within each other communities, most places are between 3,000, 1,500, 500 to 800 people. So the more you go, the further you go, the less community within the community, but are taking a huge responsibility, making sure our territory is respected, provinces are respected, communities are respected. More we work together, the better for safety reasons on a daily basis. Information is important. Like I said earlier in the beginning, information is important within the parks, within all languages, especially for visitors who are starting to understand our territory or wants to more understand of our territory, how we can work together with accessibility information, disability services. So for me, as a vision impaired blind person, it has been important that I understand the terrain myself. I've been in the field. Like I said, I'm born and raised here. I was not blind all my life, but I had an accident. But I have learned to navigate on a daily basis on independent living skill. So it is important we understand the independence of each individual's life in disability services, more the better. So on a day-to-day life, safety is number one, understanding each other is number two, educating each other is number three, and number four, listening loudly. More we work together, the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. We have a few questions come in from the audience. Someone is wondering if you can describe some of the safety precautions that you take when you go out into the parks.
Thank you for the question. Yes, when I go to the parks, I'm always about safety. I make sure I bring, I go out with my communication, either radio or a phone. I bring my cane with me. I bring a bag full of goodies that's important for out in a tundra, such as snacks or other information. And it's important that I understand the terrain where I'm going and making sure that I tell someone where I'm going, especially. So the more we work together, the better, especially outside the parks or within the parks.
Absolutely. And when you're thinking about going out to the parks, are there different websites or resources that you go to find information about the terrain and the trails and the wildlife that are there?
Thank you for the question again. Yes, these past few years, we have been working on getting the parks information map, making sure we're walking on the terrains, making sure the accessibility information is there, making sure the languages is there, making sure we have signs information, stop signs such as, going to the washroom, making sure that they are there, the terrain is there, making sure the road is there, having some, sites on the side of the roads, making sure there's markers. Those are very important. And especially during the whole terrain, markers are very important. And especially listening to what's happening out there. Nature is huge, but listening to where you're going is very important. In parks here in Nunavut at Grenier Parks, we have Silver Grenier Park. It is loud. It is loud because it has a thundering roar of river going down to the rapids. We know where it all is, but more importantly, we get away from it. We understand where we're heading. So it is important we understand our hearing around our environment.
Thank you. And is there like one specific hazard you think that is very common and not being addressed by Parks Canada?
Yes, it is important that, on a day-to-day basis, there's people arriving. And it's important that people whom arrive here to remote places, as we live on a remote island, they are giving maps, understanding the terrain, understanding the community city is very important, especially if you're going out and about, just say for 5 minutes, but becomes, dangerous situation where people need to find you. That usually happens, and we want to avoid that. It is important that we give this information to people who are arriving and new to our community city so we can understand and judge each other properly.
Thank you. I think we have time for a couple more questions. Given, I know you've worked a little bit with Parks Canada and the local parks in Nunavut. Are there strategies there to recruit and train Nunavut rangers and park staff?
Right now in Nunavut, we have parks, like all across Canada, there's Parks Canada. Within these, some communities, not all communities has parks, but they do have, in the future, there will be adjusting new parks. But within these parks where people arrive, such as, people arriving from ships, visitors arriving, understanding more of the parks, it is important that, we understand, like for Iqaluit, for instance, we do have a national park building where you can get information, talk to an individual who's a park officer, but more we strategize, the better. So we need to make things stronger, especially within the workforces or around Tundra Valley. We need to have more people on the ground, more understanding of the terrain, more understanding of each other, of languages, especially working together with the community where they host the most information how to be on safety in the first place.
Absolutely. I think those are like some great suggestions about how we can be improving that park community collaboration and information sharing. And I think we have time for one more. Someone from the audience says, thank you for sharing. How has having signs in your native language changed the type of information you get when you're on the terrain or in the parks?
Well, okay, this was very interesting for me in the first place, but like I said, I had an accident during my work time, so I was not blind all my life. That what led to me was my accident that became my vision impairment. So that taught me a lot of things faster, in a faster pace, learning more of independent living skills. So more I understood the environment the better. So like I said earlier in the beginning, I'm born and raised here. I know where things are. I know how the terrains are. I've been in the rapids. I've been at the parks. I've been pretty much around, as I used to be a hunter, father hunter. I'm a grandfather, and it's important we understand more information about the individual, the better. So learning all these new life I have, learning about independent living skills, computer training, guide dog training, or learning how to use maps, etc., has helped me a lot so much to do my daily tasks, especially communicating with the people out there who wants to understand more about accessibility and disability services.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Noah. I think that's probably all we have time for right now, but I'm looking forward to welcoming you back tomorrow. Noah is going to be on our panel discussion tomorrow as well. So thank you so much, Noah, for sharing that with us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. Looking forward to another session. Allison, have a great day, everyone. Looking forward to more conversation.
Thank you.